Hey guys, it is election day and I'm about to go to an election party. Just got off work. Yeah, that's what I'm about to go to. So let's go.
Back in check, 57% President Biden. This is a pattern we're seeing now in all places where Donald Trump is running. Hey, you look out here with that little carry biker chief right here.
I'm vlogging. Huh? Hi guys. Hi guys.
Hey Dalji. How are you, love?
And everything like that.
Good evening. My name is Philip Brown. I'm a sophomore, political science major, and I'm also serves as Mr. and Mrs. on campus.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Donald Fleming. I'm a senior biology major here, and I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Good evening, you guys. My name is Tony Youngblood. I'm a graduate from Clark Atlanta University, and I'm also your youngest mayor candidate running for mayor for the city of Atlanta.
Ooh.
Good evening, you guys. My name is Victoria Colston Brooks. I am a graduate student in the Africana Women's Studies Department here at Clark Atlanta University.
Hey guys, I'm Zaire Lopeman. I'm a freshman and I'm a history major and I am CCO of Living Green Club.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Atia Haynes. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, mass media arts major, aspiring investigative reporter and community activist.
Hello, everybody. I'm an angry-ass black man. No. I'm Dr. Christopher Bass. I am a professor in the Department of Psychology, also a proud alumni of this great institution.
Woo! Like right now, too many of us have an attitude like we can't change anything. But if those same people in that video would have said that, we would have been nowhere. So I wanted to have this event. We have a new president, now what? And honestly, when I got the idea to have this event, I never in a million years thought Donald Trump was going to win this election. I thought that the government just wouldn't have even allowed him to be the president because of how dangerous he would be. But clearly, as we saw last night, that was not the case. So the first question that I have for all of you in the audience is, what is your biggest fear now that we have elected Donald Trump into presidency? So who wants to be the first person to answer that? All right, can you come up to the mic?
Do I need to introduce myself as well?
Yes, please, everyone, before you say something, can you introduce your name, your classification, and the institution that you attend?
My name is Kabase Trappier, and I attend Clark Atlanta University. One of the biggest fears that I have is So once I found out that Donald Trump won the presidency, I started doing my research on some of the laws that he will start implementing. And one of the things that he's going to implement is the stop and frisk implementation, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm fearful because when I go to my aunt's house and when I go to my uncle's house, you know, they have a little money of, you know, the wealth that they've created in their lifetime. It's a predominantly white neighborhood, and when I go there, she always tells me to not wear hoodies, to not wear fitted caps, you know, things of who I am. She tells me not to wear those things. So now that one of the things that's going to be implemented is the stop and frisk, is like at any moment I can be targeted for whatever reason. And I don't want this to be just my opinion, but throughout all the social media and all of the killings that we've seen black people be targeted for no reason. We've seen police officers fear for their lives on a simple, you know, broken tail light incident. So that's one of my biggest fears, is that I'm going to be targeted for being myself. I'm going to be targeted for wearing a fitted cap. You know, like, although I'm dressed in a, you know, suit now, that's just for this event, but what happens when I'm comfortable? You know, like, what happens when I'm walking back home in my neighborhood? I can be stopped and literally be targeted, and that could be that deciding moment of whether or not I live or die. And you know, that scares me. In addition to having a little brother who is reckless, you know, he's young, he's grown up. We all of them make those mistakes through middle school and high school where you do dumb things. I don't want this one particular stop and frisk implementation that he's, you know, going to implement to be the reason I die, or the reason I don't become the Dr. Travier that I want to be.
How y'all doing? My name's Tyreek, I'm transfer junior, political science major. And my biggest fear with Trump being president is our people not believing in ourselves first. You feel like a lot of people are scared that he's president, but we not far removed from slavery times, from Jim Crow laws. So what is him being president? How much worse can that affect us from where we came? How can we overcome having a bad president if we overcame slavery and not being able to have an education, segregation? Like, it's a lot of things that we overcame that is way bigger than Donald Trump. So there's no reason to have fear in having a bad president. We're around racist people every day.
Yeah.
So having a racist leader don't really mean nothing, because that's the world. This is the world we came up in. So why not believe in ourselves? Why not believe that we can achieve a higher goal of being powerful black people? There's no reason to have fear. A bad president is just a bad president. Why are we scared?
Especially since you touched on how you have a little brother and you out here, you know, just worrying about him. I have a little 13-year-old brother, and like, yikes, I don't want to cry. As soon as I found out, like, I literally texted him right away. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I had just woke back up, and I thought Hillary was going to be the president. So I text him, and I'm like, Michael, I'm just so sorry that you had to witness, you know, an election like this, that you had to see a man rising up in the polls who literally prides himself on hate, and not only prides himself on hate, but prides himself on degrading other people, especially black men and black women, and just women regardless, and immigrants and Muslims. So I know that that's one of my biggest fears as well, is, you know, for my little brother. Because I want to know that, you know, as a black man who has so much heart, that he's out here safe, but it's just so much against him, especially for all of us in this room. And especially with what you were saying, I completely agree with that as well.
Back there, he has a younger brother. I also have a 16-year-old brother that I'm raising as well. And it hurts when you have to tell your brother when it's raining to don't wear the hoodie to go catch the bus, because his hair get wet, or make up an excuse. In refuge, you really want to say don't wear that hoodie because you might get shot by police officers. And if I have any parents in here, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys remember back in 2012 when Donald Trump first made the announcement that he will run for president. This was something that was strategically planned and not something that just happened this presidential election. During the time we knew Hillary Clinton was going to run for the Democratic Party, we took it light that there's no way that Donald Trump will win president. When we did that, Donald Trump, like I said, he had a strategic plan campaign manager, and we was vouching for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, when she ran against Obama, we saw the path that if she was to run again, what could happen. We listened to the media when they came out with the presidential election, when they came out with the candidates. We saw the media only focused on two people, and that was Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. For people that voted early, some of the ballots in some counties and some cities didn't have all the presidents who was running for, all the candidates who were running for presidential on the ballot. On yesterday, the ballot did have every candidate who was running. Now, some people believe that, hey, if you voted for Gary Johnson, you took votes from Hillary Clinton. You guys, there was no way that Hillary Clinton was gonna make that presidential election. This was strategically planned since 2012. What we should have done was, we should have voted for Gary Johnson and backed up and let her and Hillary Clinton join forces, and we would have still had a voice in the White House today. We listened to the media. They pimped us. We listened to people, the plan for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a reality TV show. He's a reality TV star. He did everything in his will to keep us focused and not to focus on the other candidates. We was lacking knowledge of all the candidates that was running. And I want to say this to you guys. That happened in the presidential race. Please don't let that happen in the local election.
So I just wanted to give you some statistics on the stop and frisk, because I know that's one of the things I'm really scared about. You know, back from 2002 and 2014, it was 4 million stop and frisk. Out of those 4 million, 90% of them was Latinos and blacks. And so we just bring it down to a smaller time. 2002, you know, it was about 2,000 victims of gun violence. So they did 97,000 stop and frisk, and I think in New York. Okay, so then 2011, it was about 2,000 victims of gun violence, and it was about 700,000 stop and frisk. So you can see how stop and frisk has nothing to do with the violence that's going on in these communities. The stop and frisk is to discriminate against you and your brothers in our Latino community and whatever minority they feel like they need to harass that day. So understand that stop and frisk is nothing small. Like when I thought of it, when I first was introduced to it, you know, stop and frisk, I don't care, you know. I don't have nothing on me, I'm not a bad person. But this is affecting our communities. So just know you gotta know your statistics. You gotta know there's real information out there that's going to affect you, your parents, your uncles, your family. So.
I think what I'm most afraid of is the safety of women. We have a man who's admitted to sexually assaulting numerous women and has zero regard for any woman, for that matter. I really fearful for those of us who live at the intersections of oppression, those of us who are black and gay, or black and disabled, or Muslim and gay. Like, we have to think about these oppressions occurring simultaneously and not as separate entities. It is the sum of all of our identities that make us a whole, and knowing that we are different is not a site of oppression, it's a site of resistance, if you let it be. So I really hope that we can get a real handle on what rape culture actually is and find ways that we can dismantle it from the inside.
Well, the question had to do with fear. And because I'm a psychologist, that's my area. So for all of you who are very fearful right now, I want to tell you, similar to what my brother here said, that we are a very resilient people. And we have gone through so much in the 400 plus years that we've been on this continent. So let me say to this, let me assure you that while we are resilient, we typically are very fickle. And what I mean by fickle is we'll pay attention to a subject or a really big issue just for a little bit. And then after a couple of weeks, then we'll start to move and refocus to something else. What I encourage you to do is, number one, get a hold of your fear, flip that fear or anxiety, and get angry. I started off by introducing myself as an angry black man. And the reason that I did that is because I don't want to put out to the world that I'm afraid. I have a 15-year-old son. And I remember, when you were talking, I remember telling him to take off his hoodie. Matter of fact, I took all of his hoodies and I put them in my room. Now I wear his hoodies. But I don't want him to wear the hoodie because of what the media says hoodies represent. But I've been stopped and frisked and planted and on and on and on all my life. Coming from Washington, D.C., that's what they did in the 80s. Always planning something or stopping you or searching you. I never had a hoodie on. So if we begin to think about where the hoodie concept came from, there's one name that many of you haven't uttered in years, and that name is Trayvon Martin. So now are we afraid of holding Skittles or iced tea? No, we're not. But now all of a sudden we have this fear based on what society and the media tells us. We shouldn't wear hoodies. Even me as a parent, stopping people from wearing hoodies. I was wearing a hoodie before I got dressed today with my bow tie and my suit. What I want us to do is I want us to get a hold of what the media tells us. And again, flip it. Flip it. Get in touch with you. You don't have anything to fear with Trump, little T. You really don't if you really get into it. Now, I know that there's some things going on. He's going to be the one who puts in the next Supreme Court justice, which is very scary. But what we don't do, and I'll make this very quick, what we don't do is we don't look at the real issues. I mean, the grabbing the women in the private parts that's a soundbite. But that's not what we should be focused on. What we should be focused on is what was going on when he was on the TV during those debates. You know that there were things going on in our country, there were laws being passed that we're not paying attention to. So those are the things that you need to fear. Our local debates, that's what you need to be concerned about. What laws? Now we have the House and we have the Senate. What's going on? What are they doing in D.C.? Those are the things and those are the groups that you need to really be concerned about. What I encourage you all to do, and this is the last piece before I pass the mic, what I encourage you all to do is I need you to understand what's going on here in the city of Atlanta. Because if you're here as a freshman, a sophomore, junior, senior, graduate student, you're going to spend a significant amount of time here. Know the laws where you are, know the major key players. Know this brother, young blood. Because as a candidate for the mayor of this city, you're going to need to know what's happening. What is he seeing? What's on his plate? What's on his table? Get to know what's going on. Not just what's happening around here, what's not on the news, but everything. And turn off your TVs for a minute. Turn off your radios for a minute. Turn off some of the negative misogyny that you listen to and you thump every day. Because if I said, ooh, y'all know what that's all about. But you can't tell me who's running for what office. You know I can go all day.
Excuse my tardiness. One of the things that I fear and that I hear people talk about in the community is that complacency. Many people believe that Donald Trump would not have been president, and so folks refuse to vote. And as I say in a lot of forums, that white people, I'm not white, but white people, so I can talk about white folks. But white folks, they count on us not to vote. And so this last night was a prime example of us using whatever privilege that we may have not to vote, right? And so one of the fears that I have is complacency. Now that Donald Trump has been elected, or selected, not elected, but selected to be the president, we have to, at this point, use this as fuel to start taking control locally, right? So we have to take control locally. One thing that I stress is that we have to put our own people in position of power. We all know a black attorney. Raise your hand. You know a black attorney? We all know black attorneys. And so what we need to do is take our black dollars, take our black dollars and put it behind a black attorney.
Yes.
Black attorney, you all we got. You in college or you may be in law school. And so what I need to do is put my black dollars behind you. We all know cool DAs, district attorneys, who have more control over how cases proceed. They have discretion if cases move forward in the court process, right? And so what we need to do is put our black dollars behind black potential leaders or candidates and support their campaigns. Brother Tommy Youngblood is running for mayor for the city of Atlanta. Many people I talk to, well, is he experienced enough? He's only 25. Right now, we all we got. So we can't depend on people like Trump or people like Paul Howard, the district attorney who prosecuted black educators with the RICO Act. Right? So the RICO Act is usually reserved, and I'm no attorney, I'm just a smart, educated Negro. So the RICO Act is usually reserved for gangsters, mobsters, organized crime, right? And so that's something the Rockefeller brothers need to be brought up on, or something that, give me a drug dealer, Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. That's what they were charged with, right? BMF, right? So we're charging educators for cheating in public schools, APS scandal. Black educators getting 20 years in prison. Now we all know white schools cheat every day, right? So we're charging our black educators with the RICO Act. Now many people was upset, we were frustrated. We said District Attorney Paul Howard was a coon, a sellout, a Uncle Tom. We were all pissed off. However, Paul Howard got a 4-year term to be the next DA again. So we talked a good talk. But no one said who's going to be the next candidate to run against Paul Howard. So we were all pissed off for nothing. Because now he has another 4 years to do exactly what he just did. So we have to create the change that we want to see. We have to become the change that we want to see.
I want to actually open up the floor to you all.
Hi, my name is I'm a sophomore here at Carolina University, and I'm from South Carolina, so I have, just watching the election, you can obviously see that South Carolina was won by Donald Trump, and it's really a Republican state, so I firsthand witness racism often there. But you asked, what is our fear? I don't really have a fear, more so a problem, and a lot of people are going to be confused when I say this, but my problem is with one being an ongoing number, meaning everybody in this room is angry. They woke up angry about the election, but we're not angry together. Everybody is angry for the sake of themselves. Everybody's not angry for their families. They're not angry enough to join together and become one. I just feel like with these results, we can't so much change who our president is at this point, but we can change how we let that affect our daily lives. We can change how we let that affect us as a unit. And just looking around this room, I feel like there's not enough people in here. So for everybody to have woke up angry this morning, y'all are obviously not angry enough because nobody's sitting in this room to join together as one. So we're angry when stuff happens, but we're not angry enough to do something about it.
Completely agree with that. And one thing
we can do for one is just become more knowledgeable. Like, to me, that's I found that being a big issue amongst us as millennials. A lot of us aren't knowledgeable enough to even understand the ballot, and all of us are quick to go on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatnot. Well, why not go to, you want to vote and have a sticker and post it, but you don't even know what you voted for. Like, I heard people on the promenade telling their friends, girl, I don't even know what I voted for. Like, there's questions on there, ain't like, you can go on Snapchat and Instagram. Why not take 2 seconds? You can look up a ballot on the internet. I'm not even sure if y'all even knew that, but you can look up a ballot on the internet. Like me, I'm not the most knowledgeable in that subject, but I went to vote and I made sure that I knew what I was voting for. Like I took the initiative to care about and what's the word I'm looking for? Become knowledgeable in the subject. So that's just one thing I say we should do, just become more knowledgeable.
Okay, so let me energize y'all real quick. I think we did a damn good job on the election. OSD, they got voted down. You guys know what OSD is?
No.
Opportunity School District. So that didn't go through, right? And so Opportunity School District, as we know it to be, is not as nice as it sounds. The governor tried to take over our schools and privatize them. We all know that anytime you privatize anything, there's big money, it's a big business. And so we got many voters and many organizations got behind and educated the public on why they should not vote for OSD. That's Amendment 1. And so that's something to be proud of. The fact that everyone came out and showed up, that's something to be proud of. So we didn't do such a bad job. What's next? We must actively resist the system of oppression. The same system that limits us, the same system that restricts us, that's what we must do. Now is not the time to give up. We all know that the government and white people create distractions, they create illusions, they create drama to divide our people. And so right now, we're living right now in an area that's being gentrified. So while we're focused on the Donald Trump, that's something to focus on, absolutely. We need to focus on this gentrification that's going on around our black schools, around our black neighborhoods, right? We need to continue to put our black people in position of power. We need to own businesses, own homes in our neighborhoods.
Yes.
Let's not forget about that. See, we're fighting a war on 2 fronts. Of course, you got depression with the government, but then we have our own neighborhoods that we have to patrol, keep safe, and maintain. We don't own anything. This is what I suggest, and this is going to be one of the last things I say is, all right, we'll try to keep it one of the last things, but we must own stuff. Let's talk about financial literacy, economical empowerment, right? Ashe?
Okay.
Black dollars matter, Ashe.
Ashe.
Black dollars matter, Ashe.
Ashe.
And so when you own businesses, that's how you get your financial capital, right? And so there's so many gas stations in our black neighborhoods that black people don't own, that black people don't even work at. It's always got Mr. Abdul over there running the gas station, right? And he's rushing you out, hurry up and buy. And then they're selling drug paraphernalia in our communities. You can buy a crack pipe, also known as a kit, with a lighter and a Brillo pad at the gas station, right? Now, they don't sell that stuff to their own people, but they'll sell it to some niggas, right? They'll come bring poison into our communities and sell it to us. They'll disrespect you while you're shopping at in a black neighborhood. How you gonna pay somebody to disrespect you? How you gonna finance your own oppression? Right? Yeah. So what we must do is start buying businesses. You guys as students need to join some type of activism group. And what you should do is put pressure on your presidents of the universities. Because we know, outside the community, we know that they teach y'all not to go outside these gates. And they tell you how dangerous it is. How are you afraid of your own people?
Yeah.
This is your neighborhood too. And so Clark Atlantis, Spelman, Morehouse, you guys have a social responsibility. You guys have a moral obligation to leave these compounds and get involved with the community. And so your issue is my issue. My issue should be your issue, brother. Right now, this is a prime example of how we need to stick together. And let's not allow division and distractions to divide our people.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
how he's well structured and how he has stability, and you trust him enough to be his wife, then that's when you give your purity to him, and then it's like, okay, now you can have me. But it's like sex was like at the end, like after we said our vows, then it's sex. You know, in tradition, if we talk about tradition and religion, as far as women being pure when they get married. But as of right now, it's like, in this day and age, come on, y'all having sex. So it's like, marriage is like, I don't think sex is the ultimate reason why people get married. It's what's the capabilities, what you guys can give. But it's a compromise, what you can give.
So what do you guys say for people who are married, and like you said, like there's no back way out, it's sort of just like you guys can stick it out. But what about the people who are like in relationships where it's really unhealthy and people are getting abused and infidelity? Should they not be an escape? Should you not be able to be like, I don't want to be in this situation?
You better run as fast
as you can.
Yeah, I want you to answer it too, yeah.
I mean, because I feel sometimes like marriage is almost like sort of forced on a lot of women, and sometimes women like genuinely don't want to be married. And I feel like it comes along with like gender roles, and it shouldn't be so
I feel like
a pressure to be married.
With marriage, like the first couple years of being married, and I talked to my grandparents, and my mom and dad was married, they got divorced, but the first couple years of marriage is the most trying time because it's like you going from being independent, right, to be independent to now you got to think about your decisions not only affects you. It affects your husband, it affects your wife. But if you're in a toxic relationship, it don't matter how long you've been married. If you know you getting beat, it's time for you to go. You know that y'all not meant to, some people not meant to be together.
But some women feel so precious to the point they will stay in that relationship because they feel like I have to be married.
I think that goes into also the mindset of an abused woman, because now you're dependent upon the man. You have this unhealthy attachment, even though he's abusing you, whether he putting his hands on you, whether he talking you down every day, you're tied to that man. Because he's provided this, he's provided that. It's good this day and it's bad this day. So I hold on to the good and I forget about the bad till the bad happen again. But I can't leave because he's my husband. And then I can't leave because I don't want to leave. Because at the same time I love him. But then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
you're dealing with a battered woman. And then you're also dealing with the thought of marriage ain't really supposed to break up. But even with me, in my belief, my uncle was married for 12 years. He got the same beliefs as me. He was in a toxic relationship and he got a divorce. He prayed about it. And you know what? When you're not happy, why are you there? Because all of these things, like I said, marriage is spelled out. Like what should you be getting from your good relationship? You know what I'm saying? If you missing them key points, if you missing being built up by your partner, if you're missing security in your partner, then what are you doing? It's the same question. Like the same question of me being with somebody for 10 years and we happy and we in love, but we not married. It's the same question of if I am married and I'm missing everything that's supposed to come with a marriage, why am I married? It's the same thing. Like, and I don't know if the gender role piece of it, or just the traditional piece of it is what makes people stay. You know, like, you're not really supposed to break up, so I'm going to stay. You know, I don't know if that's what it is or not. Or, like you said, when you're dealing with an abused woman or an abused man, that just makes them stay. But I don't feel like you're supposed to. If you're unhealthy in it, if you're dying in it, then no, I don't support it.
May I add in? See, one of the most important reasons why people stay in abused relationships is because simply they don't have confidence within themselves. That's why this is one of the reasons why I started my organization, is because I want to instill confidence in these young women at an early age. It's not about the social standards. It's not about social media that you have to have a big butt or long hair. Guys, you don't have to sell drugs in order to make money and be successful. It's about the confidence level that you have within yourself. And from that, you can create longevity and success and pay off your rent. The debt is society, and life is your landlord. So it's like your rent is your success, and it's what is owed to you. And it's what is due to the other people to show them that you are confident and you are independent enough to carry your own. So it's like if you go into a relationship shattered, if you go into a relationship already not confident within yourself, then it's already a dead ship. It's already a dead end. It's like if you go in a relationship because this guy keep telling you, oh, you are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. But it's like if you don't know that you're beautiful within yourself, it's going to be like, why do I want to text him now? It's because he keep telling you that you're beautiful. My cousin, she died. She was killed because she went into a relationship. She was 16 years old, and she met this guy who was older than her. He was 23. And he was very sweet to her. Like, she didn't have anything. Her family was, my aunt was broken or whatever. She was on drugs. And my sister came from nothing. My cousin came from nothing. So when she met him when she was 16, this was a dope dealer. He gave her everything in the world, bought her anything. She came out, she had all the new joints. Like, everything she had was new. And it was because this man was taking care of her. And because she didn't have confidence within herself. As she grew older, she ended up living with this man. She ended up having a baby by this man. By the time she was 21 years old, this man was beating her tail every single day. He would wake up and just beat her ass just for no fucking reason. And it was like, why? But she stayed there because she didn't have confidence. When she first went into the relationship, the only reason why she was there is because this man is the only one who kept telling her she was beautiful, that she was worth something. And then he shattered her all the way down to she was worthless. And so one day he decided to take her and the baby that they created together to go to a gas station, kill her, kill the baby, and shoot himself. And it's like a man that's broken, it's like he would do anything to prove to you that, look, I'm the only one who wants you. Nobody else wants you. He's broken himself. He's abused himself. So the fact that he's abusing you, he wants to bring you into that same mindset that he's already in. So both of y'all can be sad. That's what it is. Thank you.
It's like the breaking point of a relationship, my personal opinion. I think the part where it becomes like the breaking point is when it becomes abusive. You know, and it doesn't have to, like y'all stated earlier, like the physical abuse. It doesn't have to be the physical abuse. But the most thing about a relationship that breaks most relationship is the mental abuse. Mental abuse is way worse than the actual physical abuse. So I think it comes to a breaking point when, like you said, it's been done so many times. So it makes you question yourself as a woman, and that starts to deter you, or that starts to break you down as a woman. It starts to make you, like you all said earlier, damaged. In a sense. And so once it makes you damaged, that's when you know it's time to escape, and that should be the breaking point. But like first time cheating, you know, it's just like, oh really? You know, but I don't think that should be like I don't think that should be the end. Y'all have a good night.